immediately we got 100% participation of all the parents every week sending in their plastic. And more than that, they've gotten into the habit of segregating the plastic. So what we found is, it's not enough to kind of ask people to participate out of the goodness of their hearts or out of a sense of responsibility. There also has to be a financial penalty or some kind of price they pay for not participating in that. Now, we've never actually charged anyone any fees, but just the threat, we just make the threat, okay, if you don't send the plastic, you're gonna have to pay 200 rupees this week or 100 rupees for school bus fare or for school fees or for uniforms or for daily meals. So we just make the threat of having to pay fees, and that generally causes them to immediately start sending in the plastic. Then we started getting, a huge flow of plastic coming into the school, about 10,000 pieces every month before this lockdown, and could start producing these Ecobricks. And each plastic bottle, it's deceptive because, the problem with plastic is mostly its surface area. The bag is mostly air, and there's very little plastic that goes into a packet. But that large surface area of plastic is what's harmful. It fills up with water, it clogs the drains, it clogs the rivers and streams. So if you compress the plastic into a small bottle, you take away a lot of the harmful effects of plastic packaging. And then at the same time, you get a sturdy, tough brick that you can use to build different things. I have one more thing to show. These are walking paths, also made from Ecobricks. We haven't yet made any, wall structures. We're still kind of learning the limits of using Ecobricks, but we've made these walking paths, which are really handy in monsoon. The whole corridor of the school becomes flooded with, becomes a muddy pit. It's very difficult to walk. And we've made a few landscaping walls, tree planters, things like that, to make use of the plastic bricks. Oh, there's also an animal shelter. This is the precursor to the health clinic where students start learning their basic treatment of animal ailments, mostly puppies. And we're hoping they can use that as a jumping off point to human health services. No. So these are the students bringing in their plastic school fees. We also assign a student to keep track of who is bringing in the plastic, so that we make sure that every student every week is being given the plastic by their parents. And if we find any violators, we call them and harass them and threaten them with that they'll have to start paying fees. Then after school, students work. Usually there's some loud music playing. They might work for an hour or two, and not every day. And it's kind of a rotation, so there'll be different kids working every day to make the Ecobricks. Most of the plastic is clean and dry. It's a little dusty, but we insist that the parents keep the plastic very clean, keep it dry. It's usually like biscuit packets, noodle packets, things that are, you know, not carrying a lot of food that can become contaminants later. Mostly clean, dry plastic. We gave the kids gloves and things to use, but they kind of prefer to just use their hands and then wash their hands after the process. This is the tree planter. We estimate there's about 4,000 to 8,000 pieces of plastic used in this shape, because there's about 200 bottles. We estimate you can fit, you know, 20 to 40 pieces of plastic of different sizes. I think some of them are, you know, small little masala packets. Some are bigger plastic grocery bags. But we roughly estimate you can get 20 up to 40 pieces of plastic into one bottle, depending on the size of the bottle also. These are, the school runs on solar power, and when the solar plant was installed, we asked the the company to involve our students and train them. So they learned how to, now the students still take down the panels and reinstall them when it's time for maintenance and cleaning. So they're kind of in charge of the solar power plant. They know how it works, and that's the beginning of their training in solar technician training. And we're hoping the company has already agreed to hire some of our students when they've completed their training in solar technician coursework. So the idea is the schools everywhere, they have a lot of needs like electricity, like having, you know, the computers and the IT installed. So why can't we employ students to help with those things, whether it's painting the school? Anytime we need new furniture for new classrooms, we employ our students to build the furniture. So not only are they gaining a lot of skills, they're always with a master craftsman or craftswoman who shows them how to do the work. But why can't we turn every construction or maintenance project into a learning experience for them? These are not arranged well. So they can, there's a lot of room for creativity, a lot of potential uses. We're incorporating it into our landscaping enterprise. Yeah, mostly it's just this needs a kind of attitude shift where we can take social problems and incorporate it into the schoolwork, so that the kids learn about the issues. They learn, for example, our kids have their science classes where they learn about plastic pollution and you know, chemistry and biology and ecology, and then they have to actually, you know, do something about it, not just read about it. So it blends well into an effective teaching program for the students. Now we're working on replicating this model in government schools. We've started working with one school in Delhi, and now or before Corona times, we're in negotiations with the government of Gwalior and in Bhopal, the state government of MP, to implement in, first we're going to do 2 schools, but they, you know, if they like it, they're going to implement in nearly 2,000 schools in Gwalior. And, you know, the whole reason that we're going to Gwalior, the way that the deal was made was by one college student who is, you know, he's a founder of his own NGO, but one college student in Gwalior, he went to the education leaders in his city, you know, the government officials. He met with them regularly and kept pushing for our model. Like, hey, why don't you try this Akshar education model? And, you know, they were ready to improve their schools. So, you know, he convinced them to implement our model in their schools. And because of that, we're looking at potentially going up to 2,000 schools, and that's just one college student. So we're hoping we can find more people like him to push their local leaders into helping spread this model to more schools. If every school in India had a recycling center, had an animal shelter, has a solar power plant, has a tree planting nursery, that's hundreds of millions of teens that can really make a big difference in the issues that we face. So that's all the time I'll take. Thank you very much for listening. And I'll hand off to Vikas and GreenAmmo.
Thank you, Mazin sir. Moumita and Amit, you can take over.
Okay.
Hi guys. To begin with, I want to thank each and every one of Bhumi to give us this platform where we can come and share our thought processes and do one of our favorite activities, that is making bottle bricks or Ecobricks. Second of all, Mazin, it's so inspiring to see what you are doing. It is a model that is working, so it is practical. It is a model that is expanding, so it's empirical. And it is a model which is sustainable, so it is environmentally friendly. So we want to thank you from our side for taking up an initiative. And we want you to grow big. And whenever possible, if in any small or big way we can be of assistance, we'll always be there. Most definitely. Before we begin talking, if there is any lag from our side in terms of network, just put it in the text or just leave us a message, maybe because online in WhatsApp, so that we can cater to that issue. And to begin with, GreenAmmo was very scattered in the sense we all have been working. We are a very small team. We are not an organization. We are just a small team of few people who believe that doing the work that they do, they can be sustainable and they can take care of the little that is left of the environment. I've been working for the past 10 years in the development sector. I've been working with children, women, but always keeping sustainability in head. Amit, on the other hand, he has always been in the field of zoology in terms of academia, and he has been in the corporate world as well. So he's been working on that side too. But GreenAmmo together came into existence just a few years back inside a small room in Himachal. And the story goes like two of us do a lot of traveling. We don't stick in one place. Every 3 or 4 months, we are in a different place altogether. And initially what we would do is we do a lot of trekking. So as and when we go up and down the trekking routes, we would just do cleanups. It would just be us. We would have some empty bottles, collect the plastic, get more bottles along the way, because somehow it is very fun for tourists throw things here and there, and we would just collect it, make lots of bricks, and wherever we would station ourselves, even if it is a small camping site, would make a small tiny structure so that it would remain out there. But when we were in Himachal, we saw that that is not enough. Just 2 of us working is not enough.
A bigger consolidated effort was needed. So that's where we started thinking of how we can engage more people. Social media was the first thing that we thought about. And then we created our own page. That's where it started. And we named it GreenAmmo. But then slowly, some of our friends, they joined in. They had the same idea. And we wanted to actually take up matters in our own hands instead of waiting for anyone else or pointing fingers at the government, saying that someone else should be doing that part. Our ideology is, if all of us did our own, played our own roles, and be mindful of our own actions, the world that we live in would be a much better place, and we can be able to tackle the problem of plastic pollution. And my own discourse, my own studies helped me understand why this plastic is such a problem. As previously pointed, apart from the surface area, this plastic is, it is a damning problem. what makes plastic such a good thing is also the biggest problem about it, because it does not degrade. It stays in the environment for a long time. It does not interact with the environment, which is why it is such a good plastic. It is such a good packaging material. At the same time, it is a menace when it enters into the oceans or into the landfills or to the rivers. It clogs the systems. It is a threat to the biodiversity. And that is just the bigger plastic that we see. And even a bigger threat exists in the form of microplastic, when these plastic completely breaks down and creates smaller and smaller and smaller pieces until those pieces can never be in the naked eye, but they are still there in the water, in the ecosystem. And the organisms, the microbes and the larger fishes, they consume them. It accumulates in their bodies with devastating impacts. We have all seen pictures of large animals, especially oceanic creatures, dying of consuming plastic because they don't know, they can't differentiate between plastic and food. We have seen cows eating plastic because the food is inside the plastic and she doesn't know how to remove the plastic from the food. So we end up slowly poisoning and degrading the nature and the biodiversity. And this is something that will impact us in a very short run. So we need to do something about it. And that is why we thought of this impact of what we can do about it. Hence the idea of.
There are so many things that you can do with plastic, but coming to the point, we work in basically remote and rural areas. So if I suddenly go up to a panchayat and tell them, hey, why don't we have an incinerator and a molder and we can make real bricks out of the plastic, that is a huge investment. So we had to come up with a solution which A, can be done by anybody, B, does not require a lot of investment, and C, does not require too much technicalities. So that is when the idea of bottle bricks or Ecobricks came into place. We'll give you a very small example. Once GreenAmmo was formed, one of the first villages that we hit was Mukhtar. It is in East Jaintia Hills in Meghalaya, northeastern side of the country. We went there, we had a talk, for the first 2 days, we had a talk with the youth association and the panchayat head, and we gave them this idea of bottle brick. They were so flabbergasted with the idea that they decided that within 2 weeks, they're going to conduct something called a plastic festival, and they will do it in terms of competition. Can you at least hear us? Even if the video is lagging, can somebody at least leave a text or let me know if you can hear us? Okay, great. So we went to Mukhtar, we had a talk about this, and they decided that they're going to conduct a plastic festival. And within 2 weeks, more than 10,000 bottle bricks were made. And this was done by going to the local river, which is called the Mintru River, by going to Ladrumbai market. Every day, each and every villager started making bottle bricks. And the last day, it was a huge heap of bottle bricks. But the question was, why were they making it? Why will someone take the effort of putting plastics inside the bottle? This is where the concept of a balance between ecology and economy comes into place. You need to give people a set of remuneration for them to get out of their daily struggles and battle and keep environment in consideration. So we gave them the idea that why don't you make lots of bottle bricks, and in 2 or 3 years, we will be making a museum in the village. We're going to construct a museum using these bottle bricks, and that museum can have the local tea, the local music instruments, the local cuisine. It can have a small furniture set as well, all made out of bottle bricks, and it's going to be the first of its kind in the entire Northeast. This is where the tourism department of the village got very excited. So that's when they decided every year in the month of February for the coming 3 years, we are going to have a plastic festival. This year, the first prize was 3 lakh rupees.
No, this was 50,000.
This was 50,000. Next year they're going to have next year they're going to have a prize of 3 lakh rupees for the person who makes, one person or a small household that makes the maximum number of bottle bricks. This is the drive that now all the villagers have. They want a museum for the village. They want that cash amount that the government is going to give them. So our way of working basically is to go and talk to the local government, give them the idea that what you're throwing away is actually wealth, not waste. You can do something out of it. It has a productive value. So go for cleanups, but not a kind of cleanup where you put everything up in a garbage bag and send it to the landfill. That is something we do not, at any circumstance, agree, basically because landfill is not a solution. It's a bigger problem.
Yeah.
It is exactly cleaning your own veranda and throwing everything out in someone else's. That is not right. Putting everything, we see a lot of beach cleanups where everything is dumped inside one big bag and then that goes unsegregated to the landfill. That is not the kind of cleanup we like. So what we do is we teach them how to do cleanups while making bottle bricks along the way. So there are few people who are given sacks, rice sacks, where they can, where few people collect all the metal, few people collect all the clothing, few people collect all the hard plastic, few people collect all paper and everything. And the largest section of the population, even if it is 10 people, that's how we divide it. The largest section of the population, they make the bottle bricks along the cleanup. Yes, it is a slower process, but it is something that has a better end result. And that's how we function. That is exactly how GreenAmmo functions. Each of our members, we are located in different positions. 2 of us are nomads. We are basically rack pickers. So we travel extensively here and there. We stay in a particular place for 3 months and we teach people how to make bottle bricks. I also run a campaign called Sustainable Menstruation, where I try and make the people understand, or rather the women understand, why they should switch from one-time use sanitary pads to menstrual cups. Along with that, we also teach them how they can do the construction, and they can also make fun things like furniture. And furnitures, the video and the link will be shared. They look super, super cool. And we also have restaurants who are now ready to buy those furnitures for their own setup, because being eco-friendly has also become a tourism attraction now. So if a restaurant is eco-friendly and it serves organic food, and if now they have furniture which is made out of bottle bricks, it is also a USP for the restaurants and the homestays as well. So we just took the economic value of it and tried to make it a point that we can give it an angle of ecological restoration. So that is how it works.
The point is basically of engaging people and incentivizing what they do. As the same idea as, or the same philosophy as Akshar Foundation is, when you incentivize their efforts to collect the plastic, they would be more interested to do that. So first engagement is when people themselves, they are engaged in the collection of plastic, they're removing the plastic from the environment, they can firsthand experience what the problem is, how serious the problem is. And that can create in them a sense of understanding and a drive to work towards this. And secondly, the incentivizing part, when a bottle brick is made, it has a commercial value because it can replace a traditional brick in many ways. So by just making these bricks, they can make a construction and not buy clay bricks, which is again, adds up to a monetary value or savings on expenditure. So these two things we thought would be the best points we can drive, we can focus on while we are taking sessions with the villages or with small groups of people, self-help groups, and focus on how they can earn out of it, at the same time do some benefit for the ecosystem and the community. So I guess that these were the most important points we were always focused on.
So in order to incentivize people, what we did was we started a small campaign called Paper Brick. It is a crowdfunding campaign where we urged everyone that they can sponsor one bottle brick, 1 liter bottle brick for just INR 13. one brick, they can sponsor for 13, and that entire amount goes to the person in the village who is making the brick. So this is where we were trying to make it a point that even if, in the worst case scenario, even if a particular organization is not ready to take this model up, even if the government is not ready to take this model up, we will be able to remunerate the people for making the bricks. If it is the children, we just open a small fund for their future education. If it is SHG, of course, it goes to the self-help groups. If it is a youth association, they all have their own PAN numbers and their own bank details. So the money goes out there. Somewhere or the other, we make it a point that the labor is remunerated and they deserve it. And they deserve it. If we can throw things for free, we cannot expect someone else to pick it up for free as well, because everyone has issues in their own lives, and environment is unfortunately one of the last things that we think about.
So this takes time and effort.
And it takes time and effort. It is labor. Would you not pay someone who is making a clay brick? Of course you would. So now this is not just plastic anymore. It is a commodity, and the labor needs to be remunerated. And that is how we do it. The paper brick runs on one side, and for villages, and someone asked me, where is the village? The village name is Mutong. It is in Jantia Hills in Meghalaya, in the state of Meghalaya, Meghalaya, Meghalaya. So if the village is as forward and liberal like Mutong, they take it up to themselves because they want a museum in their own place. The latest project that we have is in Nungroy. It is in southwest Khasi Hills, led by a very dear brother of ours named Mezgaya, and he started this movement, getting inspired by Mutong and getting in constant touch with us. And that village, we are going to make a library, because that village has a history where the children get into drugs and get into alcohol, and they drop out of school, basically because they don't have an ambience where they can study. There are schools, but there is no ambience where they can sit and study together. So this guy, he's doing his graduation. So he wanted to collaborate education and ecology together. So we decided every Saturday, all the children and the young ones of the village, they go for cleanups. They make lots of bottle bricks. They make around 40 bottle bricks every weekend, because they go in and around, and kids are mighty enthusiasts. They can go for hours and hours because it is fun for them. They're not complicated like the adults. I'm touching dirt, I have to pick it up, I have to put it inside. No, for them it is SUPW. It's fun work. It's fun activity.
They don't worry about getting their hands dirty.
And they're so excited about having a library. So we told them, we're going to get you a place where you can sit down, do your reducing, reusing, recycling, make your bottle bricks, study at the same time. We're going to get you books where you can study anything that you want to. When you want to study anything that you want to. And yes, we'll make it a point that they have an amazing future, which is green, but not with carbon footprints. So guys, this is how we function. This is how we work. Small little efforts, so that it is not just about doing away with plastic from the cities or even from the villages, but not letting that go into the landfill. And the best way to do it is tap it in the household. Now, all of these villages where we have been working, they think this is money. So this is also money. They don't throw it. No one throws cash. So what they do is they infuse it together and turn it into an essential commodity. But the first thing we go and tell them is, just because you can make a bottle brick, that does not mean that you're going to consume more plastic. This is a curative measure. This is not preventative. Bottle brick is for all of the plastic that is already out, for all of the plastics that you have to purchase. When we are really high up in the mountains, they need to buy Maggie because things do not grow out there. They cannot have their own vegetation all the time and all sort of products. Now they are running homestays, and their basic earning is through selling these products like Maggies, selling products like chips. Otherwise, their families will not run. So on one hand, we do ask them to make the local products, local potato chips and everything. And on the other hand, we tell them that if you have to break a packet of Maggi and make the noodles for your customers, make it a point that you also earn out of this very wrapper. And yeah, it's a simple thing. You just need to combine interdisciplinary perspectives. Economy, education. One of our favorite things is making toilets. In extreme villages, I've been working in Orissa for a long time. In the very small villages, there is open defecation issue. There are no toilets. So what do? We combine sanitation and bottle brick together, make toilet. on one hand, you're safe, you have a proper way of defecation, and on the other hand, the problem and the menace of the plastic gets resolved. So make toilets. We are making compound walls in Nepal. We have quite a number of schools in the northern part, the Bengal-Sikkim border. We've encouraged a video to make it a point that he is now going to make an entire park using the Ecobricks. So now all the households are super excited to have an eco park, and every month they have more than 4,000 bricks being collected. So the moment you show that this is value, because we as human beings now understand system of exchange, we have become smart. So the moment you give value, people listen. And we're just making use of the value in the best possible way.
Wow, Moumita and Amit, that was really amazing. I think we can see people, putting their thoughts in the chat boxes, and they are like saying things like amazing and brilliant. You guys are doing some amazing work in Mutong village and all the places that you have been. So thank you, Mazin sir and Amit and Moumita, for the interaction part. And now we can, I think, move to the demonstration part. That's okay.
Okay, shall we start?
Yeah, go ahead. Participants, like if you want a better view of Moumita's screen, you can simply go ahead on the top right corner and pin the Moumita's screen on your screens, so you can have a larger screen view of it.
But is the video properly?
Is the video at least clear enough to see what we guys are trying to do?
Yes, your video is quite clear.
Okay. Okay. Great. So I hope everyone has an empty bottle. And the other thing that we need is obviously the plastic that you have been collecting. Cool.
Okay.
That is so cute. And obviously you have the plastic. Yes, the bag where you have been collecting plastic. I love that initiative. And I really hope that this does not stop with July. I really hope this does not stop with July, because plastic is not going to stop with July. It's going to be there with us for a very long time. So we better make this a habit. And the other thing that you need is probably a stick. A stick, a long pencil, I guess, will also work. A stick.
Whichever you can use to tighten up the plastic.
Yeah, I think you have a smaller bottle. If you have a smaller bottle, always remember, yours will work. Yeah, this will work.
But it has to be longer than the length of the bottle.
Just remember that your stick needs to be longer than the length of the bottle. The longer it is, the easier, because you can hold it. It will give you greater grip. Okay? Now, let us start making bottle bricks. The first thing that we do is, what goes inside a bottle brick? Everyone knows any sort of plastic. What is this? Oh, this is bingo. Any sort of plastic goes inside bottle brick, but only soft plastics. Hard plastics like shampoo bottles, toothpaste tubes, or the bottle caps. All of this will not go inside the bottle brick. Or even sometimes you have cookies and biscuits that come in this white box, which looks like a transparent plastic, but it is very, very hard. Now, the reason why that will not go inside the bottle brick is basically because if you insert those hard plastics, even if you cut it off and insert it, it is going to leave empty spaces. That is not going to make a sturdy bottle brick. Okay, so only soft plastic that you can squish and make this amazing sound with. So only these. The next way that you can make a really fast brick is fold it and twist it. So once you fold and twist, yes, what happens is it is easily going to go inside. Hardly any effort, right, guys? Hardly any effort. So fold it, squeeze it, and then it goes inside. You will be shocked how much plastic the bottles can eat. You go, boy.
Once you take out the surface area, it's a lot of plastic package that goes inside each of these bottles?
I have these young kids of mine. They are basically our warriors, right? So when we show them the demonstration of making a bottle brick, they get very excited, okay? And they are under the impression that I'm going to do it in no time. And once they start making the brick, they end up telling us, "Ye to bharta hi nahi hai. It's not getting full. It keeps on eating more and more and more page." Yes, GreenAmmo is also there in Instagram. It's green_ammo.
Green_ammo. And about the plastic festival thing, you guys can also look it up on YouTube. You can check plastic. You can type in plastic festival, and you'd see the Mutong Village Plastic Festival promotional video that they made. They made an entire theme song for the event. You guys should check that.
If you guys are into music, you have to listen to the song this local musician came up with regarding the plastic festival in Mutong. Just go to YouTube, type MUTONG Mutong song plastic festival. That song is going to make you dance. The last day of the festival, we danced like crazy in that song because the song is all about. I've never heard anyone make a song with
on plastic festival, like
on
plastic.
collecting plastics and making bottle bricks. That is the theme of the song. It is so cool. It gets everybody so excited. Now, getting back to bottle brick, once you feel that, oh, my bottle brick is kind of full, what you do is you take your stick and you push it down. The trick is, what you do is you try to basically, video is lagging. Is the video lagging for everybody? Then I'll get to know that it might be from our end.
Slowly.
No, okay. So once you feel that you've put around 7 to 8 plastics, your bottle will look full because it has a greater surface area, right? Plastic. Yeah, that is when you use your stick and you push all the plastic downwards.
The tighter the bottle is, the better quality the bottle would be. We have to ensure that after every inch of the bottle, we have to remove any empty spaces. So the bottle, as we are making it, will be tight from the bottom up. So because once we make the bottle and we are at the top of it, it will be very difficult to remove the empty spaces at the bottom of it. So we have to remove it as we make it. So the tighter the bottle is, the better quality, the more load it can take on.
You have to ensure that once your brick is done and you press the bottle, it doesn't make the crack, crack sound. The moment it makes that sound, you will know that it is not fully compressed. It should not be able to make that sound. It needs to be tight. It needs to be heavy. If you have a weighing machine, 1 liter bottle can consume around 400 grams of plastic.
Or more, depending on
or more, depending on the density of the plastic. If it is really soft plastic like polythene, it will take more. It will take more. See, I told you, my bottle looked full, and now it's literally empty again. I am trying to. It's not working. For some crazy reason, I can't remove the cover. Let us have this. Let me give you a very practical understanding. Let's see that we are not making anything out of the bottle brick. Nothing. We're not doing construction. We're not making compound walls. We're not doing anything. Not even garden walls. We're not doing anything. Imagine 400 grams of plastic just lying around in your room, okay? And then imagine that 400 grams of plastic tapped inside a bottle. Which one would give you more empty space in and around when you make a bottle brick, right? Even if you don't do anything with the brick and send this brick to the landfill, which is really bad, but even if you send this brick to the landfill, you're still compressing the entire plastic,
into a smaller space, much smaller place.
The landfill issue that we have in Delhi, they call it higher than a mountain. There's a reason why. Because all the plastics are just sent out there, unsegregated, just sent out there. Even if you don't do anything with this and just compress it and tap it inside a bottle and then send it to the landfill, you will still do a favor to nature by reducing the surface area that plastic covers.
Here's a small piece of information. 8.3 billion tons of plastic. Okay, that is the amount that is there in the environment. 8.3 billion tons, which is more than few hundreds of full-grown African elephants, or thousands of whales. Okay, that is the amount of plastic that we have produced, and most of it has been produced less than the last 50 years. Okay, so again, that is the amount that has reached all over the place. It is there even in the pits of the Marina Trench. So imagine how we have infested the environment with this plastic pollution. Now, if all this plastic would have been contained in a smaller space, probably the problem would have been much lesser.
Plastic is not going anywhere, so it just stays there forever. So now next question is, let's say hopefully we've inspired you all to just tap and collect all the plastics that's generated in your own household and then make the bricks. So let's say that you consume only the plastic which is necessary. Still, you will be able to make at least 2 bricks a month. What do you do with the bricks? That's the thing. Do you send it to landfill? We would urge you, please do not send it to the landfill. If Bhumi has an office, if it has a little space, maybe you can make a small garden area, or you can also make cool furniture for the office itself. It is a super fun activity. You can take it up, but we understand that you do a lot of other important work as well. So if you cannot, or if you do not have the time to make something out there, we will give you the address and you can drop it down to us. Every 3 or 4 months, you can just give us all the bottle bricks that you have made. And we will ensure that all of these bottle bricks go towards the making of the new library that we want to establish in one of the villages in Meghalaya. We will make it a point that all of these bottle bricks go to the particular village. Yes, the address will be sent. It is not there right at the tip of my tongue at this moment. It's a complicated name, but we will be sharing the address, and we will make it a point that all of the bottle bricks that you make. I'm surprised. Yes. Oh my God. It takes time because it seems like it's not much, but there's so much plastic that this bottle can eat.
Every time you make the bottle a little bit tight, you'd see more and more space coming up. So incessantly, it will keep on asking for more plastic, these bottles.
And that is the point. The point is not to have more number of bricks. The point is to have more number of plastic inside one brick, to make it as tight as you can, to make it as compressed as you can, because the more compressed your bottle brick is, the better it will act as a material for construction or for furniture, for any purpose.
One important thing though, when you're making the plastic, these bottle bricks, ensure that we don't use paper, because we only use plastic, soft plastic specifically, and the plastic preferably should be clean and dry. It might still have dirt, but certainly there should not be any food or any organic materials, because once that happens, it will start decomposing inside the bottle and it will start emitting foul smell. So we don't want that, especially when maybe we are using it for construction purposes. So even if you don't have the time to clean it, but at least ensure that there is no food inside the plastic packets.
You can also put aluminum foils, because it is COVID time, and many people are getting food from outside for enough number of reasons, and even restaurants are now giving it in disposables. You have those aluminum foils, right? You can use those also inside a brick, but you have to wash and dry them first. So that's a little extra step that you have to take, because you don't want any sort of harmful gases being formed here. And I think I'm almost done with the brick. Yep. It is very important that you use a stick to make it a point that you push down the plastic
as hard as
possible. And the trick to do it is, don't push in the center, because the center is already compressed. Try to push it through the walls of the bottles. This is sturdy, it is heavy, and I think this will be my last piece. I had 2 whole bags of plastic, and apart from one big Surf Excel Easy Wash wrapper, everything else is inside. Now, the reason why I did not put the Surf Excel wrapper is basically because this is big. Try to do one thing. If you have bigger plastics like this, and you know that you have bigger plastics, if you're the one collecting it household, try to put those in first. Because after you reach a certain point, it becomes very difficult to put these inside. But even if you have to, then I would suggest that you cut it into half and then put it inside. The smaller the pieces are, the easier it is to just put it in. So we have to make tons and tons of bricks every second day. So what we do is we make it a point that the bigger plastics go in first and then the smaller ones. And even if there is some bigger plastic left, we just cut it into 1 or 2 pieces. And the last thing that you do is this tag thing that comes, the beads, the Bailey, the Kinley, the Bisleri, this is plastic, right? So our signature style is, after we are done making the bottle brick, the way we pat our backs is we tear open this and put this inside as well. That is the last plastic that we put inside. This is a GreenAmmo ritual that we have. And then we just close the tap and we're done. So much plastic consumed in one bottle. If most of you are done making the bottle, just leave us a text and let us know. And then we can show you the kind of structures that you can make, or at least how initially you form the first base when it comes to making furniture with the bottle bricks. This is something that you can do in your own residences, guys. You can make amazing stools, tables, computer tables as well, if you like sitting and doing the work from home that you have to now, maybe because of the COVID. You can make a nice small table for your own bedside. You can make coffee tables. You can even make amazing chairs, bed. You can even make a bed using bottle bricks. It's just that the bricks, for making furniture, one thing, all the bottles need to be of equal height. So all 500 together, or all 1 liter together, or all 2 liters together. This is only when it comes to furniture. But if you are doing construction, then you can mix and match. It can be heterogeneous bottles. There is not an issue, because I'll go ahead with it once everyone tells me that they're at least 80% or 70% done making the bottle brick.
I'm not sure if I'm done. Every time I think that the bottle is filled up, but and there's some more space for it.
Yeah,
always.
You'll get there. This is 10 years of expertise.
Okay. And this is my second.
No, you'll get there.
This was made for the poster, and this is the second bottle brick.
That is so. I love these. What are these bottles? They're so cute. These are water bottles.
Yeah.
These are the GreenAmmo lychee bottles.
Lychee.
Aloe fruit bottles. I will be sharing the photos that we have.
If most of them are done around 70% or 80% of the bottle break, then I'll just go ahead and show you the.
So this was just shared by Mazin sir. So
yes,
that they have made in the students of the Akshar Foundation have made in the school. And
yeah, so basically, see, even in this picture, the construction with the bottle brick is equivalent to the construction you do using any clay brick. One layer of cement, and then a layer of bottle brick, and then a layer of cement, and then a layer of bottle. So what happens is, if you see bottles, if you keep two bottles together like this, it has little space in between, and even on top, because top is triangular, right? So the cement actually seeps through these empty spaces and connects with the lower layer of the cement, and that is what makes the construction so sturdy. It makes it super sturdy. If you want to go ahead and make it a little fancy, you can give a POP layer on top of the construction that you've done. But I really like, and what we also want to do is, or we generally do, is make this construction this way so that people understand that we have made it with an alternative raw material, an alternative product. So yeah, construction, you can use the heterogeneous bottles, any shapes and sizes, it works. Someone posted a question that what will happen if this seeps into the soil. So one thing we do is, when it comes to these kind of bottle bricks construction, we tell them that we have constructions which are non-habitable. Places where you're not going to sit and stay for hours and hours. And we don't make living residential houses out there. School compounds, fine. Toilets, fine. Libraries, fine. Even schools are fine, because you go in, you spend a little amount of time, 8 hours, 9 hours, and then you come out of it. Not kitchen, because there is fire. We avoid that. We don't make kitchen using this. Kitchen can be made using glass bottles, actually, without filling plastic inside the glass bottles. Just simple glass bottle and sand. Kitchen can be made using that. But something where someplace where you don't have fire associated with it. Also, when we do the construction, what we want to do or prefer doing is maybe 1 foot of the first layer of the construction. We do it using the local rocks, plates, slabs that we have in and around. Whatever is locally available, like in the
foundation.
In Orissa side, you have their own block bricks, which are directly slabs of stones. Then even in Himachal side, you have these slates of stones. So that's just the first 1 feet from the ground, the foundation 1 feet below after digging, and 1 feet above. That we use the local construction material that we have. So this way we make it a point that, first of all, the construction is very sturdy in itself, and the bottle does not come in direct contact with the soil. Now, there was one question that just flashed in, sunlight. So what happens is, once we give a layer of this, we give a cover of POP, keeping just the heads of the bottles outside. So there is no direct sunlight that directly hits the bottles. And because this is plastic, and plastic has the tendency to slowly melt over a period of years, so they infuse and actually makes the construction stronger. And the POP layer on top makes it a point that direct sunlight does not hit these bottles. And the 1 feet and 1 feet calculation that we have, 1 feet after digging, and above that 1 feet, that 2 feet construction, whatever is available. That is what makes it stronger, and also the bottles are not in direct contact with the soil.
On the other hand, if you're making furniture, then these things are mostly indoors. So again, that protects the bottles from being exposed to the sun. So as you can see in this picture, that's a lamp that we made. So we can make lamps, we can make stools, tables. So this was in Motong village, where these furniture were put into display for the plastic festival as a way to show the people what we can do. So the center, we have the table, and the two sides, we have two stools we made from plastic. So the center one, the table, is of 2 layers, and we had a layer of PVC on top of it. In this case, they actually replaced it with glass because they thought that it would look better.
For display purpose.
Yeah, for display purposes. So how you want to design it or decorate it, it's up to you.
The way this one was done is, this is in the form of a square. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bottles, 5 into 5. So there are 25 bottles below. So those are the ones we keep like this. upright, straight, okay? Straight, and the upper layer, we keep it inverted in between two bottles, because you see there is a V shape that forms when you keep two bottles together. And when you invert the bottle, there is kind of an inverted V that you have. So this perfectly fits in like this. And that is how we give a height. This is made out of 1 liter bottle.
Yes.
So this particular table has 50 bottles, 25 below and 25 on the upper layer. So the lower base of the furniture has to be like this, because this part is the strongest part of your bottle, right? So the impact that you have with the ground, this has to be like this, and the upper layer will be again inverted. Why? Because your impact or the person's impact on the furniture is on here. So the 2 points where the impact will be highest, that is on top and bottom, this is the part of the bottle which will come in contact. Yes, for furniture, the bottles need to be identical. So it is all 1 liter or all half liters. But for other bigger constructions, like infrastructure, the bottles can be heterogeneous. It can be of all shapes and sizes. So yeah, each on an average, these bottles have 5 grams of plastic. We have put a lot of 6,000 bottles were counted for the festival, and that was done in just 16 days.
But this furniture that we made, some of the plastic was actually, or some of the bricks were made during another cleanup that we did in Shillong in the golf links. So we had 2 other organizations coming together, and we made about 100 bricks in a single day within a span of few hours. And with those bottles, we made those furniture. And this is what we see is another form of furniture.
This is another form of furniture. This is a little more sturdy. Why? Because it has the outer covering of discarded tires. Now, these are tires which were going to get burnt. Tires are a huge issue that we have, because generally tires are not sent to the landfill. What the truck drivers and the tire owners do is they just burn it. So we got all of these tires paying 10 rupees or 12 rupees, and few even for few, because they were in such bad condition. So we connected 2 tires using a drilling machine. We drilled 4 holes on 4 corners, and we connected it using plain nuts and bolts. And on the inside, because these tires are hollow, these are hollow tubes, right? And on the inside, we stuffed it with bottles. These are all 1 liter bottles. If you connect 2 tires together, it gives you the height of a 1 liter bottle. So these are all connected with 1 liter bottle. Now, someone asked, how do we connect the bottle? Here is the fun part. Glue gun does not work. Jute does not work. It works if you want to put it in display, but the moment you want to sit, you're going to fall. What works is something that Amit came across when he was in Chennai, starting his own project. We have a very, very dear member of ours called Rakesh. His father is in the making of industrial glue. This is heavy duty industrial glue.
Cyanoacrylate is the type of glue that we use.
It's cyanoacrylate. That is the type of glue that is used. If you want that glue, we can get you in touch with Uncle, and he'll be, he's the manufacturer, and he's the only one
in the country,
who will give you at that price.
Fevicol, Fevikwik, different other products, hot glue guns, but we found the cyanoacrylate to be most effective. Obviously, though, there are certain issues with the glue, because you have to be very careful not to drop it on your hands. But at the same time, the glue was so damn effective. This particular glue, literally melts plastic between the 2 layers, and then fuses them together. So that's what makes it so effective. And yeah, you guys can give it a try. If you want, we'll also share the information.
If you want, we will share the contact details of the person who is making. And yes, this is the end product of the entire furniture set that we have made. So you can see 3 different kind of tables and 3 different kind of seating arrangement. There are chair-like 2 sofas, and then recliner 2 sofas and 2 stools. And on either side, in front of that Amul place, you have 2 lamps. One lamp on your right hand side has been made using bottle bricks, and on the left hand side, old toys. These were torn, tattered old toys, and in between we have few bottle bricks.
Even outside.
And on the outside, if you see towards the right hand side, outside the door, we made an entire basin using discarded tires and discarded sunmica. So this was the entire project that we did in a restaurant called Vintage Hub. It is in the Nehu campus, Northeastern Hill University campus. This was the restaurant. The owners are very, very pro-environment. So they saw our work and they wanted us to they gave us an entire section of the restaurant saying that we want you to go ahead and make the furniture and we want to put it here for display, take the entire deal. So few of the bottles were given to us from Mutong. We purchased the bottles from them, 13, INR 13, and we made the entire furniture. And so this was a gift from our side to Mutong.
This is what we made in a day. These 3 pieces of furniture, basically a set. And see, on the left-hand side, we used cold drink bottles, 500 ml Pepsi and other cold drink bottles. That's what we used on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, the bottles are of mineral waters, Bisleri specifically, and the centerpiece, the table, is also made up with mineral water bottles.
Because in Meghalaya, this 1 liter Bisleri bottle is what you get the most when you go for cleanups. Yeah. Even in restaurants, they use this bottle the most.
We actually were able to make tie-up with some of the restaurants, and they were more than enthusiastic to share their bottles. Once they were, thrown away by the customers, they would save them and then call us to let us know that, okay, we have about 100 or 200 bottles with us. So we'll keep it separately so you guys can come and collect them. So now, except for now, the situation has been so worse. We have not been able to collect the bottles, but we were able to convince many of the business owners to go ahead and save the bottles for this purpose.
So that's it for table. We place the bottles like this first, and the second layer goes like this. Just have a look, and the glue can go in each of the areas where the 2 bottles are touching each other. And for tools, you can just make the shapes like this. You can start with square, 5 into 5, 4 into 4. It's the easiest way to do it. And if you're using tires, you will know whatever bottles fit inside the diameter is going to be in concentric circle. And that's about it. We've also stuffed in bottle in between the rim. You can see that hollow area there as well. We've stuffed in bottles just to give it a little more sturdiness. Yeah, so that's about it. If there is any question from your end, please feel free to ask. This is in Chennai, the current picture that you see. This was one of the first prototypes that we made in a studio called Tie-Dye Studio in Chennai, run by a very, very important member of our team called Rakesh Ganeshan. Him and Amit made this furniture together. This has been in a number of exhibitions in schools all over Chennai. So if there is any question, any inquiry, please let us know. We will give you the contact for the glue as well. And we will also give the address where if you want to send the bottle bricks to us so that it goes into the construction of village infrastructure, you can send it there as well. Once you're done making 5 or 6 bottles, as per your wish, you can send it into those addresses.
We might have to end soon in the interest of time. So we'll take some questions that we have in our Q&A session. Most of the questions are already answered. So we just have a few more questions. Avijad asked, if we don't have plastic bottles, any other stronger way to contain plastics?
If you don't have plastic bottles and if you're collecting household plastic, clean and dry, what you can make is something called eco cushions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, good.
So you have cushions, right? And these cushions are filled with cotton. What you can do instead of that is collect all the household plastics, say of about a month or 2, wash it with a little Dettol and little surf, wash it properly and put it up in the sun. It takes barely few minutes to dry it up. Cut it into small pieces and then make a combination of 80% plastic and 20% old clothing, old t-shirts, this and that. Combine it together and you can use it for stuffing
for cushions, for soft toys. I have been making a lot of sleeping bags for the roadside people who stay on the road and they do not have access to blankets or anything during winters. So we make sleeping bags for them, all stuffed with plastic. But we also give a layer of old blanket so that it is not in direct contact. Of course, we wrap it up like this. Consider this to be a long sleeping bag. Even after making the sleeping bag, we give another layer so that somehow it's not in direct contact with the skin. In winters, it is really effective because it is insulating as well. It has plastic inside. And the 20% cloth that we ask to infuse along with the shredded plastic is to avoid the sound, because plastic makes a very crunchy sound. If you put a little cloth, add a little old clothing, please, into it, then it will not be making the sound. Otherwise, every house needs cushions. Make the cushions, throw in amazing cover on top, use it for office, use it for your own residences. It even works amazing travel pillows as well. If it is made only this size, amazing neck pillows for people who travel a lot. So this is one thing that you can do. Otherwise, bottle break is another easy solution that we have. It doesn't always have to be water bottle. We have oil jars as well. Just clean the oil, the mustard oil and the refined oil that comes in these kind of bottles also. Just clean it properly, dry it, and then you can put it there as well. Cold drinks also works.
Wow, that was an amazing suggestion. Next question that we have is it as strong as the clay brick? Like these bottles, are they as strong as clay bricks for using constructions?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Basically because clay bricks can break. The problem with plastic is it doesn't get destroyed. That is the problem in the first place, right? It doesn't decompose. So now take that problem into a solution. Once you make a construction, unless there is an earthquake, nothing will happen. And even if there is an earthquake, the concrete will break and these bottles will fall apart.
Yeah.
Then what you can do is detach it properly and make the construction again.
Nice.
So that's one thing. And secondly, there are a lot of studies. You can look it up on Google where comparison between these bricks and regular bricks has been made based on how much shear strength and compression strength these things can take. And all the studies show that it's almost the same. In terms of the vertical compression it can take, the lateral compression and the shear strength, it is almost comparable to that of a clay brick.
And of course, it is durable. Everyone knows that's a problem with plastic. It's durable.
One last question that we'll take is, what kind of plastic wrappers can we use, and what plastic covers can be recycled? Can we use recycled plastic, like recyclable plastic, into making these bricks, or is it advisable?
See, we ask you to use only the plastic that you cannot send into the recycling center, and there are hardly any scrap dealers who will take wrappers or polymetallized plastic. Polymetallized plastic are those chips, chocolates, bhujia packets where you have the silver or golden lining. No one takes that. No one takes that because it's very, very difficult to separate the poly material from the metal. It's an expensive procedure. So only those plastic that you cannot send to the recycling center, and all these days you thought you have to send to the landfill, don't. Make bottle brick out of it. No hard plastics, please, because it creates space, and also hard plastics can be recycled. Scrap dealers take it. And we earnestly request everyone, once you give things to the municipality, please give your segregated waste. Even if they do not have segregated trucks, give your food waste or make compost. We always make compost bins. Someday we can sit and talk about how to make a compost bin at home, not even a pit, a bin at home. All wet waste can go there, but even in terms of dry waste, please give it segregated. Put all your papers and cardboards in one plastic and give it, or sack and give it. All the hard plastics in one, and everything else can go somewhere else. The metals can go somewhere else. And these plastics that you thought no one will take, no one has to. You can use it. You can use it for making cool furniture, or just send it to us.
What works there also?
One more thing that we would like to share is Bhumi has an amazing program named Eco Champs, so in which we involve volunteers as mentors, and the mentors go to different schools and they teach about different environmental aspects. So one of the programs that we have is related to making of the Ecobricks. So Akansha, would you like to share some pictures what the students have made earlier?
This is
Yeah,
such
sure.
an amazing idea. We
You
want to
want
now
me
thank
to?
everyone who is associated for taking up this idea way before and going up to the schools and making it a point that children get to do it. Thank you for doing that. Thank you so much.
Okay, is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, so this, what you see this kid is writing on is a desk that we had created out of Ecobricks. This was our first step, our first, action really into doing an activity like that. So, and as you can see, this kid is writing on a desk. Like, it's not a very good picture, so I'll just flip to the next one and see if there's a, yeah. So this is a class or more of a shelter home. So we have a shelter home program where kids come every day. And they learn from teachers, and unfortunately they don't have desks or chairs to sit on, because of which they often sort of get backaches or other issues, back pain issues. So that's when we came up with this idea of making desks for them out of these bottles. So this is a picture from there, and yeah, this is us really happy after making all of those. And we also kept in mind that some kids would prefer sitting alone, some would prefer sitting with their buddy. So we made some single desks and some were double. So this was really a very more of a learning experience for us than us becoming experts. This was a couple of months back, and as you can see, some of our bottles are actually empty because we could not gather enough plastic wrappers back then. And that's when, after that only, we actually started urging our volunteers to start collecting their single-use plastic that they could not refuse. Yeah, and that's how our Bhumi's interest in Ecobricks, learning about it and connecting with you guys, also started. So yeah, this is one of those in process. Again, it took a lot of experimenting on our part, because earlier we used to use tape quite a lot to wrap it around the bottles. Then gradually we realized that that was actually not really serving the purpose of creating something from waste, because again we were using so much of plastic to wrap it around. So we switched to jute rope. This is a picture of the desktop that we create. So we try to make it really fun, even the desktop, so that kids, they either use it to play or at least to learn. So don't have a picture of all the desktops, but you might be able to see somewhat that this one has like a crossword puzzle. This one has a word problem. This one has a maths question. So that's how we were trying to make it interactive. One more thing I'd like to share here is this visible to everyone?
No, we still have the same screen.
Okay, just 1 second. Yeah. Can you guys see the duck house? Yeah, so this is actually part of the program Vikas was talking about earlier, Eco Champs. So this program, what you see, duck house, was created by students of a school. They had collected like more than 1,000 plastic bottles, and they created a home for the ducks. So I will not be able to play the video right now because of lagging issues. I'll just share the, Vikas, if you can share this link in the chat box for everyone to browse later.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, thanks. And yeah, I'm also letting everyone in the call know that Bhumi is very much interested in taking forward the initiatives around Ecobricks. And I'm sure lots of you in the call are also EcoChamps mentors. So EcoChamps has started in 7 cities now: Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Pune, Madurai, and Kolkata. So please do look forward to us, sort of creating more of these things. To reach out to your coordinators as well about what is the plan. And let's keep the communication alive. Let's keep on collecting our single-use plastic and experimenting with these structures. Yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to share. Thank you, guys.
So one last thing that we have for our participants is you can let me share my screen. So you can go to a Bhumi website, and there's a segment called Plastic Free July. Under that, we are doing we have done many webinars till now. So Yeah, these are the list of webinars that we have done. So this was the final webinar that we are doing right now, workshop on Ecobricks. And these are the other webinars that we have already completed. This is the final workshop that we are doing under Plastic Free July. And there's 3 more contests that are happening. The first one is Kabar Se Jugaad. The second one is Share Your Switch Stories. So people are switching from plastic products to using eco-friendly products. So you can share your switch stories in this. And then meme making contest. So you can go ahead and participate in any of these by just clicking on the click to participate button and filling out a form that appears after clicking on the button. So this is the form. You can simply go ahead and fill out the form and share your success switch stories or memes that you create and stuff that you create out of waste. So these are the 3 contests. The last date for these contests is the end of July, 31st of July. So you still have time, create something interesting out of these plastics and share with us also. And with that, we will be ending the session for now. There's also a Bhumi group, WhatsApp group. So Akansha will be sharing the link to the WhatsApp group in the chat box, and you can join the WhatsApp group. And yeah, so she has shared. And whatever videos and GreenAmmo's video and then Akshar's video, Akshar's contact details, all of it will be shared in the WhatsApp group. So all these recordings of these webinars and workshops will be shared on a YouTube channel. The link of whose will be shared in the WhatsApp group. So please do join the WhatsApp group. With that, we'll be ending the call. Thank you very, very much of Mazin sir and Moumita and Amit for joining us today. I hope it was a very session for all of us. We learned a lot, and you guys are really inspiring. And I think most of us are going to make Ecobricks and use them to make constructions or desks or furniture out of it. So that was really amazing. Yeah, and I hope we take a lot of learning from this webinar and use our plastic in a much more efficient way. We reduce our plastic, then we and upcycle our plastic. So yeah, with that note, we'll be ending the minutes, and the participant can. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling us, and we want to thank everyone who came up and gave us our time to listen to us. And we will be providing all the information. If you're doing amazing work, you want to make more furniture, we'll provide you access to the glue to the person who makes the glue. Thank you so much for inviting us. This was amazing, an amazing Sunday spent. Thank you.
Akansha, would you like to go ahead with the final vote of thanks?
Sure. Mazin sir left. What?
Not sure. I think he left, yes.
I think there was some network issue from my end. I didn't hear you earlier. Did you ask him to wait?
Just sharing a final vote of thanks from our Bhumi side.
Sure, no issues. So Moumita, first of all, I would really, your energy is so infectious, man. Like,
Thank you.
Like, I don't know if Trishna told you, but Trishna is a common connect between you and me because we were in the fellowship together, same batch.
Trishna is a darling. She's a darling.
Yeah, it was a very last minute connect with you, but I'm really glad you guys could come on board in such short notice and do this amazing
The honor and pleasure was
workshop.
all ours, sweetheart. Thank you so much for bringing us in.
And Amit, really sorry, just looking at your arm all the while I was thinking, is he comfortable? How is he sitting like that over there? But thank you so much for being present.
The thing is that every time I start talking or explaining something, the pain, it doesn't bother me anymore. It's just only time I'm just sitting idly listening. Then it's like it gets a little bothersome.
He
So I keep
was
on changing and fidgeting.
he was about to make a brick today. I literally had to shut him up and scold him this morning, saying, "You're not touching anything and not making a brick. You have your entire life to make bricks."
So, yeah.
I feel that's the kind of obsession, making Ecobricks sort of takes the form of, once you start making it, you can't let go of it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Absolutely. And especially when you know it is actually reaching out to people, that actually increases the interest and enthusiasm towards towards this. You want to give more effort and want to reach out to people a much better way. So yeah.
Great, guys. So what we do after every session is we sort of ask the volunteers in our WhatsApp group how it was for them, what they learned, and if they can share pictures of what they have created. So I'm sure people will be sharing the Ecobricks and whatever they'll be creating in like a week or so. I would love to share those with you guys as well.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Because how do you think it went, the session?
I think it went very well. The workshop and the introduction part, everything was went very good. This is the first time doing workshops. I'm works for that.
Oh, for first time, you've done pretty well. You're a good moderator.
Thank you.
Also, Moumita, Amit, I wanted to check with you. Like you mentioned that Rakesh from Chennai is the one you connected with. Is he the Rakesh who's also a Bhumi volunteer?
No, I don't think so.
I'm talking about Rakesh Ganeshan.
Okay.
I don't think so. He's the owner of Tie-Dye Studio. He could also be a Bhumi volunteer. He's been volunteering for n number of places. Rakesh is a brother to us. He's actually one of the core members of the team. He runs the projects in Chennai.
Oh, awesome. So would it be possible for you to connect us with him so that we can check with him like what he has been doing in Chennai so far? Because our base is also in Chennai, right?
Yeah,
Actually, we're also from
totally.
Chennai.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I am in contact with Vikas, so I'll send him the